Hi, in this video we are going to make a frequency table and a bar chart and a pie chart in Excel. So I have transferred over the text, the example and the text from the class prep assignment to Excel, just so we can see it here on the one screen. And if you need the worksheet, you can get it on my website at caraleemath.com. So just to review, our example one is a movie review website. Lists 8 5-star films, 19 4-star films, 12 3-star films, 7 2-star films, and 4 1-star films. In a previous video, we made a frequency table, and we did it by hand, which is great, but we can also use Excel to do the math, and it's also good practice to create a chart in Excel or a table. So I'm going to copy the chart that we had on the paper, and you can do this too. It's good practice for Excel. Across the top we had movie rating, frequency, relative frequency, and I'm using the right arrow, or you can use the tab to move over, and cumulative frequency. Okay, now you can see my things are overlapping because the columns are small, so we can adjust these. I'm just going to adjust it manually. There's lots of ways to do it, but I'm just going to do it manually for right now, just by getting this little symbol that you get in between the columns. Okay. Great, and so in our movie rating, these were the categories listed across. So 5-star, 4-star. I want to see if Excel is smart enough to recognize this pattern. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it just alternated, but isn't that cool how it will actually pick up a number and text? So I'm going to go up and edit these. I think if I had done one more, it might see the pattern. Let's see. No, it's still doing a repeating pattern. Okay. Well, it's fun to play around with. Okay, so I just edited these. So we have 5-star, 4-star, 3, 2, 1, and we had a total at the bottom. The frequencies from the instructions on here, the example, are 8, 19, 12, 7, and 4. Okay, so let's use some of our Excel things we've learned. Instead of adding these up manually, we can use a sum formula. So we go equals sum, and when I open the parentheses, then I can click on these. You could also use the auto sum right here. It might be behind my picture, but auto sum will usually take just the cells right above it or to the left of it. Okay, so we have our 50. On our relative frequency, let's go equals B7. So I'm going to use a cell reference divided by 50, and then drag that down. We can switch this to percent if we want to. There we go. Cumulative frequency, let's try using some cell references here and see if we can get this to work out to where we can just copy a formula. So for the first one, we need to just straight up copy this one over, 16%. But then the second one equals will be the one above plus the one to the left. And that's our cumulative. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch that video first. This will make a lot more sense. Now this should be able to copy down because it will just copy those cell references down each time. So let's try it out. And it works. So we end up with 100, 54, 78, 92, 100%. That's exactly what we had. Okay, so now that's an easier way, maybe faster way to make a frequency table. You can let Excel do the math for you. Now, what we want to do, we've made the table. We want to make a bar graph and a relative frequency bar graph. Label the axes and give the graph a meaningful title. Okay, so let's select our first two columns. I'm not going to select the total because it will think it's another category. It will think we have 50 more movies in some kind of category called total. So I'm not going to select that row, but I am going to select the categories and the headings because usually Excel is really smart with putting those into graphs. Then we want to go to the Insert tab. So click on Insert. And be sure you're doing this along the same time. You can pause the video, go back and forth. Over here, I see what looks like a bar chart. Insert column or bar chart. And we've got lots of different options. I'm going to go with the standard column chart like that. You can make it bigger or smaller. I'll just make it a little bit smaller to fit in here. Okay. See how it put the categories? So it recognized the categories. It didn't label frequency over here, it labeled it over here. So let's do a little bit cleanup on this one. On the plus, it says chart elements. There's also some different versions of Excel. So if you don't have the plus sign here, then you want to go up to your menus up here, and you should have some option that says format chart or design, add chart element. I've noticed even between my office and my home and the classroom, they all are just a little bit different. So play around with it and you'll find it. In our chart elements, we've got axes. I want to add axes titles. And we've already got a chart title. You can play around with these, like data label, see how that adds the numbers on the top, which I think is great. Data table, I don't think we need that. We don't need error bars. We don't need a legend because we only have one set of data. And we don't need a trend line. Okay, so I'm going to click off of that. Then we want to put in these titles. If I click it 3 times, it'll select the whole thing. So this is the category of movie, right? Or the number of stars on the movies. Let's say movie rating. And over here is the, or I'll just backspace and get rid of this, is the frequency. And let's make a meaningful title. I'm going to X that. Meaningful title over here, which would be, let's see, a movie review website. So this would be movie ratings on XYZ. We don't know the name of it. Website. Capitalize it. This could be interesting because what if there were 2 different websites and one website had a lot more movies that had higher ratings than the other one? You could see a graph and you could compare and say, oh, this website has a lot harsher rating system than the other one. So that is a frequency bar chart. Pretty cool, huh? Let's, while we're doing the frequency here, let's make a frequency pie chart because it's exactly the same, almost exactly the same way you do it. We still would highlight these and not the total. And we still will go to Insert. Instead of picking the bar chart, we're going to pick the pie. And there's some different options here. I'm going to stick with the 2D. And I'll move it over here. You can make it smaller and larger. So maybe I want to make this smaller so I can get these next to each other. Great. Let's make the same title because this is the same exact data. let's see how it did. So we've got our categories, 5-star, 4-star, they're all color coded. When you click on the graph, you should be able to have all those editing options. I'm not seeing my options here. I think I got one off to the side. Okay, so I just paused the video for a minute because I was trying to get too much on this screen here. So I moved the bar chart down here, just for the time being. That way when I click on the pie chart, I get the plus sign over here, which is what I want to do for the chart elements. We have a title. I want to add the data labels, and we already have a legend. You don't have to have the labels, but it would be pretty hard to estimate. I mean, it would take some doing to estimate without the labels. So that is a pie chart. But notice we've only used the frequencies so far. We haven't used the relative frequency. So let's move these two down here. Oops. Those two down there, and we're going to go back and let's do a bar chart again, but we want to do the relative frequency. So I'm going to highlight this column, and here's a trick. If you want to jump over a column, because if we went to this column we would now have all three, and we don't want that. So I'm going to select the first column by dragging down, then hold the control key down. If you're on a Mac, maybe it's the splat key, I'm not sure. Try it out. So now we have two columns that are not right next to each other, but they're highlighted. So first one, then control key, second one. Insert bar chart. Notice how they look pretty much identical, except for the scale on the left. See how the frequency over here is in numbers and the frequency over here is in percentage, so that's the relative frequency. So I would just want to edit this one a little bit. I want to add the axis titles, and I'm going to add the data labels too. And then now we can change this vertical label to relative frequency. And I believe we had movie rating down here. And what did we say? Movie ratings XYZ website. Okay, so now you've got your bar chart and your relative frequency bar chart. Okay, let's do the same thing. Notice how these are still highlighted, so I'm going to try it. If I just go to Insert Pie Chart. Ah, okay, that's good to know. I still had this selected, so it changed it. I want to keep this graph though, so I'm going to click off of it, and then this is no longer highlighted. So let me highlight it again. Control, hold that down. Insert pie chart. Make that a little smaller. Okay, what do I want to do on this one? Let's say data labels, and I think that's all we need to do. We could say change our title to movie ratings. Okay, movie ratings on XYZ website. Okay, so you'll be printing out all of your graphs, so you might want to just sort of organize them all. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Undo. Just moved something accidentally within the graph. I'm going to put these next to each other. If you want to do that, you can. That way you can just print them all out on one piece of paper. Okay, and then we'll do a histogram in another video. So there we have it. We have our frequency, bar chart and pie chart, and relative frequency, bar chart and pie chart. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.